Okay. So this is basically my final review of MYST 2021. Um, if you want to see my individual points, I have recorded a video of me going through them, actually adding a few things and tweaking a few things, but it is an hour and a half long, and full of a few antics from a cat making me react to the. By the time I was like part way into it, it was the time where I usually feed her, and she was kind of annoying me a bit and triggering some autistic responses from me, um, which look really probably make me look really weird. So I'm not sure if I want to upload that. Um, but also the soundtrack is playing from Amazon Music, and once it gets through the soundtrack, it starts playing other stuff from a weird other playlist, which is like MYST soundtrack, but it's not from the MYST soundtrack. And I'm a little bit afraid of content IDs uh, um, kicking in there, and I have no real defense against it other than I didn't intend for that music to play. At least here, I am providing commentary on the game and the soundtrack to some extent, which I think is excellent. So it kind of constitutes fair use, even though I'm just going over my final scores. So this shows like the positives and negatives that I eventually gave to it. Here, I'll try. There we go. So the positives and negatives, I tallied them up, and this is what I arrived at. Now, I'm not going to necessarily type out the actual I have the actual final numbers in a text file here in Notepad, and I calculated the percentages, the ratios between how much what percent of my opinions were positive and which percentages were negative. I guess I could drag this on here. It's a little small, so apologies for that. Yeah, I had 32 information positives total, and 8 information negatives total, with 40 total bullet points there. 80% of them were positive, and 20% of them were negative. So overwhelmingly positive. The interesting thing is that interaction positives versus interaction negatives are actually slightly more negative than positive by 1 point, which leads to 40% positive score and 53% negative score. Now the grand total is it would basically flunk. Also, I can say that I give basically I give the game an 8 out of 10 for information. That's basically the scale I'm going at. It's exactly at a 8 out of 10. If I give it a grade, I can't remember what. I think I have a thing on. I don't know if I kept that open. I was looking up like what the American grading scale would be. I kind of was like, screw that. Like, basically, this game would be a C minus total. It also flunks on control, on interaction / control. So this is I'm probably gonna round it up to a 5 out of 10. Like, the interaction is average. It's not terrible. There just are a lot of points that are just slightly more points that are positive and negative. But the grand total points are I also put a little note at the bottom about how this would be a C minus if I were using the actual grading scale. I don't think I think that like, giving a film a grade is a good idea, or giving a film or a video game a grade, rather than a scale out of 1 to 10 is better. Kind of for this very reason, because if we were basing it on the grading scale, an average, like what should be kind of an average game, but 5 out of 10, it would be a flunk. Which is like, it's an average game. It's not that remarkable. It has a lot of flaws to it. This game is definitely above average, at the very least. So I'm basing it basically kind of on a 1 to 10 scale, based on a percentage. So this game gets a 7 out of 10. The original might actually get like a 6 out of 10, or somewhere around there. But anyway, there's 39 positives and 16 negatives total, and total 55 points. So I derived the percentages and basically the ratio of positive and negative from there. Of course, the positive score is the only thing that matters. But if you can't read it and you wonder, it's 71% positive and 29% negative. So it is 7. The game final score is 7 out of 10. It is pretty much the best way to play MYST, or at least classic MYST. If you're a fan of the Rhyme Age, you may have to wait. Hopefully, it'll just be a matter of waiting for it to be added back in. Hopefully, I doubt they're gonna make it into paid DLC. I mean, if it's paid DLC, it better also include the rumored 6th age. I'm all for having more MYST ages to explore. Another game I really want to dig into is I want to dig into Ribbon and actually properly try to review Ribbon. And then possibly go into other entries in the series as well. I never got all the way. I got like a little way through MYST 3 before I kind of lost interest, or got into another game that like recently came out. I can't remember. I had to actually look at my history of like when I played MYST 3 and like what I played after that. There may have just been a game that came out right as I was playing MYST 3, and I decided to play that instead. I may have burned myself out on MYST. I don't know. That's the other possibility. But anyway, this is much shorter than my hour and a half video. It's almost 10 minutes. But this I might actually post. If you really want to see me break down and do like go through all of my points and like my thought process of like revising some of the points from what I did in my original playthrough, tell me in the comments. And I if enough people tell me, I might go ahead and post it. But I kind of doubt that's going to happen. I don't think I'm going to get that much engagement until I probably have deleted the file. So, but if it's engagement is engagement. So like, tell me how interested you are. Maybe try to convince me. But anyway, there's a bunch of things you can do. I'll take a few seconds of your time. There's a few things other optional things you can do that will take a little bit more time. And of course, you can support me financially if you really feel like it. But of course, you don't have to do any of that if you don't want to. I just greatly appreciate it. Just like the way that I greatly appreciate you watching this. And until next time, sayonara.